Just over 10 years ago, we got a modern-day remake of the film musical Annie, with Cameron Diaz starring as Miss Hannigan. She was nominated for a Worst Actress award at the Razzies, and shortly thereafter retired from acting, until this weekend when her new film Back in Action releases on Netflix. Now, was all the hate for the remake really deserved? Well, let's take a look at both versions. Now, acting-wise for the main character Annie, both have their charm, and I don't want to be too harsh on child actors. I feel the actress in the remake did her best with what she was given, and she did bring some charm to her performance. But what makes the original Annie better is she's a bit spunkier. There's a scene in the original where she's willing to put up fists to fight off bullies. She's got an innocence to her, but she's also spunky and street smart. Now, as for Miss Hannigan, Carol Burnett is superior to Cameron Diaz in almost every way. There is one element to the remake version of Hanigan I feel was done better, but we'll get to that in a minute. As for the original, this version of Hanigan was far better, because she was unlikable, but at the same time she had her funny moments. She had far more screen presence and was a lot more fun to watch. Diaz's version really phones it in, and she can't even really sing. I just don't believe that she's this nasty, awful woman. However, the one thing the remake did better with her character was her redemption. In the original, when Annie is being chased by Rooster and Lily, Hannigan suddenly says, "Don't hurt Annie," despite the fact that throughout the movie she was saying things like, "kill, kill, kill." This comes out of nowhere. The remake at least took more time to give her a redemption arc that felt earned. As for Warbucks, who in the remake is named Stax, I think the original version of Warbucks is far, far better. Throughout almost the entire film, he's stone-hearted and is like a brick wall. When he first meets Annie, he wants to send her back because he would prefer a boy. You feel he cares more about his political career more than he cares about her, which is why when Annie is kidnapped by Rooster and Lily, him realizing he's going to miss her and then goes to save her is such a moving moment. The original also doesn't have this weird will they, won't they between Warbucks and Grace. In the original movie, there's a musical number that introduces Annie to all of Warbucks' servants. Since this is during the Great Depression, these people are happy to have work. In the modern remake, everything in Stax's house is automated. The original has a song about going to the movies and how it's an escape from the hard economic times of the Great Depression. The remake has them going to the movies as well, but this time it's a young adult sci-fi romance film, which shows how cinema trends have changed. Now, the character of Rooster, played by Tim Curry in the original, is not in the remake. Instead, it's one of Stax's assistants. This doesn't work because he's suddenly a villain halfway through the movie, and this isn't built up to. It just feels shoehorned in because, well, that's how the story beats of the original go. The original version has a lot more political talk about how Herbert Hoover is ruining the country and why Warbucks is campaigning to make things better. The remake doesn't really give any justification for making Stax a politician, other than, well, that's how it was in the original. Now, I do think the remake has better pacing. The original has certain scenes and musical numbers that feel a bit too long. The pacing in the remake, for the most part, is a bit more concise. The new versions of the songs keep most of the original lyrics, and the sound of them is a bit more up-tempo. The new versions of the songs are all pretty good, and there's a few songs from the original I'm glad they didn't include in this new version because they messed up the pacing. Overall, the remake has its moments of charm, but the original, in my opinion, is far, far better. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.